If anyone has any advice for me going through this shit, because it's I don't want to say it's been horrendous. I don't want to say it's been the hardest thing I've went through. I've obviously kicked methadone cold turkey. Um but it's a completely different animal when you're out in the free world. You have day-to-day responsibilities, and you gotta taper. You gotta go down 5 milligrams, you gotta go down 10 milligrams, and you got to show up for people. You got to show up for your responsibilities, and you can't just be laying in a jail cell, you know. And because literally, I mean, jail's hard, don't get me wrong, but most of my main detoxes have been in jail, and it's been a lot easier because you don't have any responsibility. You literally sit in your cell all day. Maybe you get out for some free time, but your meals are given to you. And I mean, in Hennepin County, your meals are brought right to your tray. They bring you your methadone or Suboxone, and it's easy. John Wolfe said, "What time of day do you start getting sick?" Usually like in the evening, like around 5 or 6, I start kind of feeling sick, and then by the morning, I'm shitting and diarrhea, all that good stuff. I'm down to 40 milligrams now. And hey, what's up, Teacher Springfield? So here's the update, guys. So I'm down to 40 milligrams, and I plan on getting down to 30 by the end of this week. Okay. So if you guys are just tuning in, this has been a long journey. I was on 120 milligrams. When I was on those higher doses, I went down slow. I went down 10 a month, for a while. And then I got down to 90, and I stayed at 90 for a few months. And then once I got kicked out of the clinic, I said, oh shit. Or I mean, not kicked out of the clinic. Once they took my take homes, I'm like, listen, I'm taking my freedom back. And they've tried to convince me up east, west, north, and south to stay on methadone. And I'm like, listen, I'm not letting you guys control my life anymore. So basically, when I got my take homes taken away, I started going down 5 milligrams a week. So, I went down from 90, blah, 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 blah. You guys have heard the stories. I made a lot of videos about it. But, anyways, and there was a lot of time periods in there. Once I got down to like 60, every little 5 milligram decrease I felt. And the lower I go, every decrease I feel more and more. What's funny is actually I talked to my counselor today, and he said they were going to give me my take homes back, but I'm already so far invested into this shit that and I really don't want to have to go there every week, because the fact of the matter is I live an hour away from this place, and there's no clinics within there's no clinics within an hour of where I live. So it's just, for me to be independent and be able to work and be flexible, Suboxone's what I got to do. I'd rather not be on anything, you know. So, and I'm lucky I have a girlfriend who works in a treatment facility. She knows about addiction, and she wrote me a list this week of things I'm going to need for this taper. So, as you guys know, I need to get down to 30 milligrams sometime this week. And then to switch to Suboxone, I need to be off methadone for at least 72 hours. Now, I've been researching this quite a bit, and I've been reading some places say you only need to get down to 40, and you only need to stop for 48 hours. But I've done the Suboxone shuffle so many times that I know better. And I know that the Suboxone is going to work best when you are in full agony withdrawal. Like, if you have any little bit of methadone left on those receptors, the buprenorphine binds so heavily. It's one of the hardest binding opioid receptors on the planet. And if there's any little shred of methadone left on those receptors, it's going to kick you right into precipitated withdrawals. Yeah, John Wolf, 6 days would be if you're at a higher dose, but if you're on a dose like uh 30 milligrams or less, the half-life is so low, so much lower on methadone. Like Suboxone actually has a higher half-life than methadone, surprisingly. Um, so now my concern is, I've already accepted the fact that I'm gonna have to get down to 30 milligrams, some point this week. But my worries now are, what do I do for this 72 hours opioid free? Because it's been probably over a year since I haven't had an opiate in my system. Well, maybe one day, give or take. But so if what up, Kay? So if any of you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. And I'll let you know. My girlfriend helped me create a list of what I'm going to need. So I got Ambien, I have Klonopin, I have hydroxyzine, propanolol, electrolytes, plenty of Gatorades, stuff like that, kombuchas, vitamins. I'm gonna have the Ambien for sleep, Klonopin for anxiety. Oh yeah, and I meet up with my I forgot to tell you guys this. I meet up with my Suboxone doctor tomorrow. Gabapentin, right there. That is one of the best aids for opioid withdrawal. So I'm talking to my Suboxone doctor tomorrow, and I'm going to ask him two things. Well, three things, actually. Three main things. Number one, can you get me some gabapentin? Because I'm going to need that, like ASAP. Number two is if they can prescribe me Subutex, not Suboxone. I do not, because I'm coming off methadone, I don't need any extra things throwing me into precipitated withdrawal. And yes, for all you people who think that Subutex will not put you into precipitated withdrawal, you are severely incorrect. Subutex will throw you into withdrawal pretty much just as bad as regular Suboxone. Buprenorphine is about 90% of what puts you into precipitated withdrawal. Naloxone will put you into precipitated withdrawal as well, but the naloxone really isn't the main component that throws you into precipitated withdrawals. But yes, gabapentin is one of the best tools for withdrawal. I'm really scared that I'm going to go in. My fear is that I'm going to go 72 hours. I'm going to take my first strip of Suboxone, and it's going to put me into worse withdrawal. That's like a nightmare. So the one thing I'm contemplating, and I still don't know if I'm going to do yet, is Kratom. I might do Kratom on like the first and second day of this withdrawal, just to help with some of the symptoms. But you got to be off Kratom for 24 hours. Sorry if that affected the audio. But Kratom can cause precipitated withdrawals too. So I can't do the Kratom too close to the Suboxone either. So it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I'm gonna go through some pain. That's a given. I've already made it this far. I'm down to 40. I just got 10 more milligrams to go. That ain't too bad. And I've been taking workout supplements, which have been helping. Ashwagandha, Tribulus, DHEA. These are all things that help regulate your hormones. And I've actually noticed that these things help with withdrawals quite a bit. I should probably make a video on that, but they should do more research on that, you guys. Like these like testosterone boosters or hormone pills that are like, hormone supplements, they actually really help with opioid withdrawal. Ashwagandha has really been helping. It actually kind of gave me a little bit of constipation, but that's neither here nor there. So do you guys think I should do Kratom or no Kratom? I'm going to read some comments and let me know if you think I should do Kratom or not do Kratom. So Russell Strong says, does gabapentin really work? Yes, Russell, gabapentin is like one of the most amazing tools for opioid withdrawal that is not an opioid. Gabapentin, also known as Neurontin. It's commonly used in neuropathy patients, so it's a really good pain reliever. It's also used for anxiety. It hits on the GABA receptors, so it's really, really, really beneficial to opioid withdrawal. Kaylee says, no, you absolutely do not want precipitated withdrawal. What a nightmare. Yes, it is the worst. You get the worst restless kicking legs. You can't sit still. It is the most uncomfortable thing. Precipitated withdrawal is terrible. Kaylee says, have you talked to M. Gray about the kratom and what type? She seems really knowledgeable. I'm pretty knowledgeable on kratom. I've done my research. Everything I've looked up says red vein mangda is the best way to go. That if you're trying to use it for opioid withdrawals, the red vein mangda is typically the best from what I've heard. Teacher Springfield says, I have lupus, fibromyalgia, and rheumatoid arthritis. Hey, Tetra, have you tried gabapentin? That stuff really helps, honestly. You should try that. She said, yup, I know pain, LOL. Damn, Tetra, what you do for your pain? Let me know. Russell Strong says, kratom has been a lifesaver for me. How much kratom do you use a day, Russell? Yes, Jay. Oh, Tetra used to be a nurse. Yeah, I should make some more kratom videos. But one thing I will say about kratom is and this is from experience, take in mind, if you have been sober from opiates for a substantial amount of time, like no Suboxone, no Methadone, no heroin, no nothing, do not take kratom. For me, at least, well, okay, you know what? I'm not going to say don't take it, but I'm going to just speak from my experience. So when I lived in West Palm Beach, Florida, I had a good amount of clean time. I had like a year and a half off opiates. And a friend of mine asked me to go to a kava bar. Now, a kava bar, they give you a little drink, and it's kava and kratom mixed together. The next morning, I felt like absolute shit, and I felt like I was going through opiate withdrawal, and I craved heroin so bad. And then in turn, I went on a bender for a while after having a year and a half clean. So for some people, kratom works really well. For me, what kratom does is it tickles my opioid receptors. It's like a tease. It's like it hits your opioid receptors. You get a feeling, but it didn't get me all the way there. It made me want the real thing. That was my issue with kratom. Now, my girlfriend has had some concerns about me taking kratom, but I explained to her the difference is, well, last time I was sober completely, and I'm on an opiate right now. So if I took kratom, it's not going to get me high at all. It's at minimum, at most, it's going to just alleviate some of the opioid withdrawal symptoms, and definitely not all of them. Jail keeps trying to call me. Russell Strong said, only in like second day withdrawal, I take a lot of the shots to work, but can get expensive. A lot of the shit to work. I don't know what you're trying to say there. So yeah, I'm gonna see how this kratom might help me. But you guys, I'm lucky. I got a lot of comfort meds though. I got Ambien for sleep, which is a sedative hypnotic, which is like a somewhat narcotic. I got Klonopin. I got propranolol. And hopefully the doctor prescribes me gabapentin tomorrow. You know? So hey, what's up? What's up, Tay? What's up on Hood? I put that on 55th Street. You find me? No, I'm just kidding. But so I'm really testing this whole theory out about how on methadone you get down to 30 milligrams, quit for 72 hours, and supposedly you're good to go on Suboxone. I've seen this on multiple websites. Some places have even said you can take 40 milligrams and wait 48 hours, but I'm not going to take that chance. I'm going to wait the full 72 hours from methadone to Suboxone, and my girlfriend's going to be filming it. So you guys are going to get to see real footage of me going through like methadone withdrawals, switching to Suboxone. So I'm going to document this whole thing, and hopefully it can be a good learning tool on it, because like I've looked up this shit on YouTube and there is very few videos about it. There's maybe like, I've searched the entire catalog of YouTube and I maybe found 2 videos that were like looking for the specific information I needed from someone who's been a long-term methadone patient to get on Suboxone. So yeah, you guys, it's going to be good. I'm going to be out of the city. I'm not going to be, because the city of Minneapolis where I live, like, there's dope everywhere. There's open air markets. There's, hotlines you can call. You can get dope in a snap of a finger. I'm so grateful that I live out in a rural community where I can't just get dope that, is there some out there? Probably, but I don't know anyone out there. And anyways, you get the point. So yeah, this is going to be huge for me, you guys, because this methadone has been locking me down. I haven't been able to work. Luckily my girlfriend has a decent job, but like she's got a lot of bills to pay. She's got a brand new car, an apartment. We have an apartment. We have rent in our apartment, so I've been basically living off family. Some of you guys have donated, which thank you so much. That has literally helped me so much. You guys can't even like fathom. But it really has brought my confidence down a lot, being tied down on this methadone, not being able to work, because like I've always been a hard worker my whole life. I've always been I'm into construction. I do paver patios and I'm good at what I do, so it was a humbling experience this summer being with my girlfriend. We haven't been together that long. We've been together coming up on 6 months. And, I typically like to be the one who is the provider, and and that hasn't been the case this time around. I've really had to be patient and just, learn to deal with my circumstances as they come, I'm going to read a couple comments though. Russell Strong said, "Thank you for your videos. I found your videos by searching for specific information on methadone withdrawal." Russell, did you email me? But no problem, bro. The reason I do these videos, you guys, is just purely because I've experienced it so many times. I've been on methadone 3 different times. I've probably had 4 or 5 different Suboxone doctors. I've had to switch from heroin to Suboxone. I've had to switch from fentanyl to Suboxone. I've had to switch from Suboxone to methadone. I did switch from methadone to Suboxone one time, but I don't really count it because here's the reason why. So in my previous relationship, I was on 45 milligrams of methadone, but I was doing fentanyl a lot, like on a daily basis. And I stopped taking my my methadone for like 6 days. I was doing fentanyl straight. Then I went to jail. They gave me a taper of methadone because I was technically still on methadone, but I just hadn't been, I was selling my doses. This was at a way different clinic. But I went 45, 30, 20. And then I went 72 hours with nothing, and then they gave me my first dose of Subutex. So I don't think that's really comparable to what I'm going through now, because I've been on just methadone for the last 6 months, and I went from 120 to now I'm at 40. And if any of you guys are ever considering detoxing off methadone, just know that like it is possible. and you can do it relatively painless. The only reason I chose to go so fast is because of circumstances in my life, because I need to be able to work. I need to be able to be at my girlfriend's full time because I have to stay in the cities part time. And you know what I mean? And that's been hard on our relationship. I need to be able to have a job. I need to be able to be flexible, go on vacation, shit, if I want to, you know? Even if let's say, even if they did give me my take homes back at the methadone clinic, and I got to go once a week, that still limits me in so many ways that it's just not worth it. And there are a lot of downsides of Suboxone. I'm not saying Suboxone's perfect. It's not. It's just the better option for me at this point. And by the way, if you guys want to join the stream and come and talk with me, I'm going to post the StreamYard link right now. Where is it? Okay. If you guys want to come on the stream, share some of your experience, there is the StreamYard link. All you got to do is click that link, and I'll invite you on the show, and you can come side by side, and we can talk. Happy birthday, Teacher. I appreciate it. And by the way, I just want to give a shout out to all my regular subscribers. Kay Elise, Teacher Springfield, she just joined the crew. And Cameron, the real Tay Loud, he's a new one. You've been commenting, engaging. I appreciate everything, all your guys' comments, like just the positivity, the negativity, all of it, man. Just the engagement. And it's crazy to see how this channel has grown, because when I started this channel, it was 2 years ago. I was actively shooting dope, doing speedballs, doing meth, and I was binging on Ryan Leone videos, right? And here's this dude from the suburbs, you know, self-admitted heroin addict, self-admitted suburban kingpin. And I related to so much of what he said. And we kind of think similarly, you know, we're knowledgeable on the substances we do. And he had a charisma that I could relate with heavily. Titra, you can donate on my Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. It's in the banner below. My Cash App is LukeGTV. My Venmo's LukeGTV, and PayPal.me/LukeGTV. It's all in the little banner below, or just check the description of some of my videos. You'll see my donation links. But yeah, pretty much all donations right now are going towards a new camera. Because basically I have to use my girlfriend's iPhone, and it limits me to be able to make videos because I kind of got to do it on her time. So I'm not really able to crank out as many videos as I'd like to when she's at work, or when she's doing this or she's doing that. So if anyone has like an iPhone or a camera, that would be fucking kick ass. But anyways, I'm not gonna keep rambling out on that. But yeah, no, it was just crazy. Like when I started the channel, like I said, I was strung out. I was binging Ryan Leone videos, hopeless, hated my life, hated the world. But just watching his videos, like it made me think, like, wow, like, look at this guy. He was a junkie just like me, and he's doing something with his life. He became someone. Like, he's a voice for addicts like us. And I've always been big into video editing. I love filming. I love editing. I love speaking. I love conversation. I love topics. And in the back of my mind, I was like, I know I could do something like this. But at the time, I just obviously didn't have the charisma, the stamina, the motivation. But I created the channel anyways. And what I started doing was filming myself using. And I was like, okay, you know what? I could use some of this content in the future to show people what addiction is like. And that's how I started my channel. My channel was like, and some of my videos got deleted, but I would do videos of me shooting up coke and heroin, me smoking meth, me just acting like an idiot. And I'm sure you guys maybe have seen some of my shorts or my videos. Um, and I'm so grateful to be out of that life and to have a loving girlfriend. And that honestly is like, I got to give so much credit to my girlfriend. Um, like I really got to give so much credit to her because she is my rock. She has helped me so much. I'd given up on relationships. I'd given up. I just inherently did not trust women. Um, you know, and she made me believe that I could love again and love myself again. So I give her a lot of credit. Yeah, yeah, you guys. I'm not gonna say this too much more, but I have Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, and they're all Luke GTV, one word. Pretty easy to remember. Thank you, teacher. I appreciate that. And if you do decide to do that, that's going straight to a camera. I will literally show you the receipt and everything because that's my main goal is to get a new camera to expand this channel, expand the message, and like create a community. Like we have a Discord group. If you guys ever want to talk in real time, just go to the Discord group. It's in it's in the description of my channel. But I'm gonna read teacher's comment. Teacher said, "I have a loving husband who has been with me since I was 17." That's what's up, teacher, and that's awesome. Because for so many years I chased women that had no uh they had no purpose of being with me in the long term. They were here for a good time, not a long time. And like I got burned so many times, and then after a while I started breaking girls' hearts because I was hurt inside. And like as the saying goes, hurt people. And I finally realized after so much hurt and despair that like that's not you're not going to elevate in life spiritually, mentally, anything if you're just going from girl to girl, hurting people, meaningless relationships. Like you need to find someone who's really there for you, someone who you can trust, someone who's got your back, someone who you can tell anything to and they're not going to judge you. They're not going to. And like I finally found that. Like, and they say like in AA, which I can kind of disagree with, that you shouldn't get into relationships, this, that, and the third, and you got to do it for yourself. You got to stay sober for yourself. And that's all true. It is very true. But when you have someone like, when you have someone that like depends on you, you depend on them, and it's not just all about you anymore, it really it forces you to be more selfless because like I'm gonna be just straight up with you. I've been a selfish person most of my life, as most addicts most addicts we suffer from selfishness and self-centeredness is the root of our problems is what they say in the big book. um I'm gonna read Russell's comment real quick. Russell Strong says, I am hurting in withdrawal today. If anyone has anything that can help, please let me know. I'm in the Twin Cities. Yeah, Russell, I'm in the Twin Cities. What? I mean, bro, I'm not going to give you any drugs, but, like, what do you need, bro? Like, I could maybe give you a couple Klonopins. That would help. Um, but I'm not, like, bro, I'm clean. I'm not in that game anymore, bro. So like I'm not gonna direct you towards any drugs or anything like that, but I would suggest take some Klonopins, bro. Or some loperamine, like some anti-diarrhea pills. But yeah, bro. Russell, send me an email after this, bro. GeraldLuke@gmail.com, because we live in the same area. Well, actually, I live outside of the Twin Cities now, but I actually am in the Twin Cities today. So Teacher's got 3 boys and 2 girls. Well, gosh dang. Kay Elise says, I don't agree with a lot of AA. It works great for some people, but in my experience, it wasn't very helpful. Here's my main issue with AA. I still go to meetings, and I love the recovery community. I do. But the problem is, when I was spending too much time in the recovery community, there's so much toxicity and one-upping, and like when someone shares in a meeting, it's typically like, look at how smart I am, look how well versed I am in the big book, et cetera, et cetera. It's a lot of ego. It's a lot of, because like addicts are hurt people. Addicts are broken people trying to fix themselves. And at some point, in my opinion, you need to start like surrounding yourself with normal people, you know, especially for women. I feel bad for the women because you're right, Kay. A lot of these dudes straight up just go to meetings to prey on vulnerable women. Like, hey, you need a ride home? I've seen a lot of creepster ass shit in the rooms of AA. And that's really BS because they're scaring people out of recovery that way too, So like if you're a dude and you're going to a meeting, man, don't go there creeping on chicks, like if a girl comes up to you and talks to you, that's one thing, but don't like go out of your way to go try and pick up chicks at a meeting. Like what I've learned over the years is like, because here's the thing, let's call a spade a spade. Women can walk out into public and they could snap their finger and have sex with someone. Men, we got to work a lot harder, and women are a lot more vulnerable to violence, predatory nature, stuff like that. So when it comes to like recognizing if a woman's interested in you or not, like a woman will let you know. You don't got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Just, you know what I mean? Just play it smooth, But anyways, this isn't a fucking romantic advice session, all right? Yeah, it's called fishing in the sick pond. Exactly, Russell Strong. You ain't lying about that. Men just as sick. Yeah, exactly. We're all sick, bro. And it shows up in different ways. And dudes love to say, like, oh man, these women with all this baggage and da 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 da. It's like, bro, half these dudes, bro, they be acting emotional and fucking, they be acting like, no offense, but they be acting like females them damn selves. I can't call it. You know what I mean? But don't go fishing in the sick pond, man. You go to a AA meeting looking for, hey, I had a bad story. I got into a relationship with a girl in my outpatient treatment center. I was like 28 years old. She was like barely even 21. And I had 6 months clean, and yeah, I had a needle in my arm pretty quick after that. I ain't gonna lie. And I so selfishly got her to put a needle in her arm too, and she never seen it. All right, Teacher. Hey, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming on, Teacher. For real. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Let me read through a couple comments. We are all emotionally stunted as addicts. Yeah, bro. I was gonna do a story of like a high school. Actually, I got a high school drug story coming pretty soon. You guys are gonna like it. It's about my weed selling days. But yeah, man, I've been leaning on substances since I've been 15 years old, and I'm 32 now. So take that for what it is. What up, Fragmaster? How you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Hey, thanks, Teacher. I really appreciate that. Send me an email though first, geraldluke@gmail.com. Email me. We'll talk about that. All right. Looking for love in a meeting. Odds are good, but the odds are odd. Yeah, bro. So like I got into a relationship with this like 20-year-old chick from my outpatient, right? And she was like mad infatuated with me, like head over heels, ga 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 ga. And she was like she was like the hottest girl at the treatment center. So of course, it's just feeding my ego. I'm like, because I got the girl that because it was a co-ed outpatient in the Twin Cities. And my ego's just like, I got the hottest girl in the treatment center that everyone wants, and I'm the one she wants. But that's what's playing in my head, and I'm letting this shit get to my head, and you know, that's why it's like you never what do they say? Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Because I thought, oh yeah, she's obsessed with me. But guess what? She saw a little weakness in me. She turned that shit around and she started playing head games with me. And bro, that shit led me to one of the biggest mental, like not mental breakdowns, but like mental lows and relapsing, and her like playing games with me, then her coming back, then leaving, coming back, and like it was just like, and like I thought it was like love maybe for a second, but it was really what it was I became obsessed with, like, because of the rejection, my ego couldn't handle the rejection. So it became my life's mission to be like, all right, well, I'm gonna get her back. I'm gonna make her fall for me again. But the problem is, once a woman loses respect for you, or maybe even a man, it could be vice versa, but I'm gonna speak from experience. Once a woman loses respect for you, there's pretty much no way you're ever going to gain that respect back. And if any women are in the chat, let me know if I'm speaking facts right now. Robert Wharton says you should be fine supplementing with kratom. Okay, so I'm going to run it down real quick just for the new people in chat. Okay, so I'm down to 40 milligrams of methadone. They are suggesting I get down to 30 milligrams of methadone and then stop for 72 hours. Then I can start my induction period of Suboxone. My question is, should I do a little bit of kratom in between? Is that going to be okay? Anyone got experience with this? Like I said, I got a bunch of comfort meds. I got Ambien, Klonopin, hopefully gabapentin tomorrow from the doctor, propanolol, hydroxyzine, etc. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know. And then what did Robert say? He said, my only advice with kratom is avoiding the extracts. They are too good. Yeah, well, I got a place. I can get 3 ounces of kratom at this place for $25 of Red Vang Mangda. I usually do like 5-6. I usually do like 5-6 grams at a time. So I might do like kratom for a day, day and a half. You know what I mean? What up, John Rogers? John Rogers in the chat. Kenneth said, just taper off and screw the subs. Bro, honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I ain't ready, bro. I ain't ready. I'm not ready, bro. I just know it in my heart that I'm not ready. I need a plan, and when I get on subs, I'm not getting on a lot of subs. I'm gonna do like 8 milligrams tops, and I'm gonna do a very slow Suboxone taper. That's my plan. And I'm going back to my old Suboxone doctor, who actually prescribed me Subutex last time. So hopefully I'm gonna get Subutex, buprenorphine with no naloxone. That's what I'm really hoping for. I think he'll do it, especially considering that I'm coming off methadone. And that just adds increased risk for precipitated withdrawals. So I'm gonna read through a couple comments. John Rogers. I don't think I've seen you before, John Rogers. You comment on my videos before? But I keep seeing a bunch of new people, man. That's good though. The channel's growing, bro. I'm at like 716 now. Like I'm getting so close to becoming monetized, you guys. I'm gonna be so happy when I hit 1,000 subscribers. Like shit's been pushing, and I've been editing this video for 3 days. And here's the problem. See, and this is why, like, I know the donation shit. I hate fucking asking for donations. I'm not asking for donations right now, but I'm saying one of the main reasons I do ask is because I'm saving for a camera. Now, my girlfriend has a nice iPhone 12 that I do use for filming, but I only can use that at certain points of the day. And like I've been editing a video for like 4 days because like I can only get the phone like 2 hours a day or an hour a day. And she gets kind of cranky. You know how girls are when you take their phones. So, but I got a good video dropping hopefully tomorrow, an edited video too. And I haven't done an edited video in quite a while. I've been doing just live streams. Hey, one of you guys should come on the live stream, you guys. Seriously. I'm gonna put the StreamYard link in the chat. You guys should come on the show. Come and talk. It's not like I'm that big of a channel. Don't be shy. So all you guys got to do is click that StreamYard link, and I'll invite you in the chat, and we can talk side by side. Because I'd really like to hear some of your guys' like experiences, advice, feedback, like in real time, like on the camera. So click that StreamYard link and come on the show when you guys. It'd be fun. You know, these shows are way, but I mean, because like honestly, like yeah, it's my channel, but you know, it's only as good as the subscribers and like the community that I have. So like I'd love for one of you guys to come on the channel and say what up, put in your 2 cents, you know, spit some shit. We can have a conversation, you know, bug it. Bug it. But I don't know if you guys watch Daniel with Veterans with Anxiety. I just watched his video last night, man. He's been struggling mental health wise, but he's stayed clean, you know, and he's stayed strong. And I really he's been another one of my inspirations, and he's a good, you know, he's a good buddy of mine, and we talk. We haven't talked to him in a while, but you know, yeah, yeah, bro. And it sucks. It sucks that a lot of people had to find me when Ryan died, but I felt like I was qualified to speak on his death just because I was like a super fucking avid Leone fan. Like I watched every one of his every one of his videos. I was a Patreon member. I've been in a little bit of communication with him. Friends with Karina on Facebook. We've talked a few times. I'm not trying to say we were best friends or anything. Um, and I did talk shit about him a little bit, you know, before he passed. I do feel very terrible about that, but it was due to some shady things that happened, and you know, the past is the past, and may God bless his soul. You know, he was idiot savant. He was a unique. He was like the most incredibly just. There's no words to describe Ryan. His charisma was unmatched. He was so well with. He had a way with words, and also he was dyslexic too, which was crazy. You know, um, because he became such a phenomenal writer. You know, and I think part of that is like, you know, when we have insecurities like that, like it's human nature for us to want to overcompensate, and I'm going to be the best. I'm going to, you know, and that's why when, you know, when I do something, I try to become the best at what I do. Um Whether it was skateboarding as a kid, whether it was video editing, video games, computer programming, web design, graphic design, cryptocurrency, shit like that. Like I learned things very quick. Yeah, Mars was, dude, Mars, what is up with this Mars kid? Later, Kay. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, man. Ryan, dude, I don't know, you know. he just I don't know what the deal with him is, man. And I saw some things Karina posted about how she was mad that Ryan's parents like weren't supporting her enough, and basically like saying that they weren't giving her like the money she thought she deserved from his parents. And it was like dude, like I thought that was a little cold of Karina to say that. It's like, let his parents grieve. Like, they have dealt with so much trauma their entire life with Ryan and his ups and his downs, and he finally gets some stability. Finally he gets some stability, and then he goes on a downward spiral and dies. Like, what a fucking horrible way to end the story. Like, devastating. Like, do you know how devastating that must be for Frank and his wife? Like, seriously, you guys, like, just think about that. And Karina is whining about how they're not giving her enough money to support her children, which I get. She's a single mother, but let me tell you this. Ryan had enough good friends. Seth Ferrante, his children's godfather, she's getting plenty of support. Okay? She's not homeless. She's not struggling to eat. I hate to say it, but get a fucking job. You know? Get a fucking job. Yeah, dude, yeah, there's a lot of weird things about it. I've heard some crazy conspiracy theories about Ryan's death and Karina. I'm not gonna go there, but just like, it just seemed really cold. And then just her Facebook posts, like, it just seemed like she moved on so quick, and she just, like, all her posts, and even before Ryan died, like, all her posts were just like attention. She like attention whore. And then it's like he dies, and like she makes a Facebook post about how the parents aren't giving her the money she thinks she deserves. Like, how about having some compassion? Maybe try to develop a bond with Ryan's parents instead of just going right for the money, you know? Like, maybe ask them, like, how are you feeling, Frank? Like, I've been having a shitty week. Like, are you doing okay? Like, I wonder if that was ever said, or was it just, I have two kids to support. What are you gonna give to me? You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what I'm getting. And you know what? I could be totally freaking wrong. But just from an outsider looking in, that's how it seems to me. And it's like, I can only imagine what Frank is going through, because his wife, if you guys didn't know, is going through dementia. She's, she's not all the way there, but Frank is he's still sharp. He's getting old, but I can't imagine what that dude's going through, man. Cause like I said, think about that story. Ryan's ups and downs, and then he finally starts to make it. But he couldn't handle the fame. It was really hard for him. It was really hard. The criticism was really hard on him. The money was probably really hard for him. Um, like, you know what I mean? Having to be like, he had to be like on character all the time, and basically putting on a mask all the time. And that's okay, but he felt like he had to be this character. And I don't know all the components of his demise mentally as far as him relapsing. I know I've heard that during the end, Karina's relative moved in with Ryan and Karina. And I heard that Ryan was getting bullied by Karina's cousin and possibly even Karina. And he didn't like being at his house anymore. And I don't know. It's all secondhand information, but with everything that's transpired, it adds up. You know what I mean? And I didn't realize that this episode was gonna lead into a conversation about Ryan, but but I mean, it has to, because Ryan was by far the number one influence for me making this channel, without a doubt. He was the number one influence on me. I had other people that influenced me too, but Ryan was definitely the number one influence. So I got to pay homage to Ryan, man. Thank you, Ryan. If you're hearing this right now, man, I apologize, man, for trolling you. I apologize for anything I said about you, but from the bottom of my heart, like, I always felt Ryan had a great heart. He was a great soul. He was timeless. He was very educated, very not he was very very well versed in everything he talked about. You know, he didn't talk about shit. He didn't he didn't talk a shit about shit he didn't know about. He was very well versed, educated, and he just presented himself in a way that gave a voice to heroin addicts to be like, hey, you know what? Like, yeah, I'm a junkie, but you know what? I'm gonna take some pride in that shit. Hell yeah, I was a junkie, man. I lived a savage ass lifestyle, bro, and I made it through that shit. And guess what? I'm not a fucking idiot, you know? Like, I'm smart. Maybe I'm too smart. And I had to dumb myself down with chemicals to deal with people in society, you know? I mean, I know that I don't know if verbatim that's why one of the reasons why I used, but like I definitely know like I had trouble relating to people, if that makes sense. And chemicals allowed me to like lower my inhibitions and kind of just go with the flow. Cause like it was just hard for me to like just be like what everyone else was doing. You know what I mean? So I used chemicals to kind of like lower that inhibition and be like, but inherently it lowered my inhibitions to be someone who I wasn't. So you know what I mean? So that's not a good thing, obviously. Um, if any of you guys can relate with that, I don't know. Um, King Crown said there won't ever be another one like Ryan with his stories. And yes, he was smart. You're damn right, dude. People keep telling me like, "Oh, blah blah blah, you're the Midwest version of Ryan Leone. Keep carrying the torch and da 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 da." And I'm just here to say, like, listen, I ain't gonna even come close to Ryan, like what Ryan did. But the thing is, like, me and Ryan's stories are we have completely different styles. Like, I incorporate editing. I incorporate I incorporate a little different style in my stories. You know, my channel's a little more informational than Ryan's. Um, Ryan was just such a raw, talented storyteller, probably from doing prison time, that he didn't need editing. He didn't need to cut and chop clips and throw in little music and do this and do that. He didn't need it because his stories were so captivating that people listened. Like, people would listen to his whole story. People rewatched his videos multiple times. I did, because they were so freaking interesting. And like the attention to detail and just he really like made you feel like you were right there with him. Like, he had charisma like a motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like, he he had something different. He painted a picture of the early 2000s in Southern California and what the drug game was like, and the culture that went with drug dealing, the culture that went with shooting dope, a culture that is pretty much dissipated at this point. Because like heroin addiction was like a cult, what do I want to say? It was like a underground culture, right? And now with all these fentanyl pills and just how fentanyl is taken over, there's no culture. And not to say heroin was ever a positive thing, but at least it was like, what's the word I'm looking for? At least it was like, you know what I mean? It was a culture. Heroin use was a culture. It was underground. It was anti-authoritarian. It was punk rock. It was, heroin addicts were smart. Heroin addicts were thoughtful people. Whereas that is just washed away. And when I started being a heroin addict, like, I was just at the tip of that still being around. And I really grasped that. And how they say junkie pride, like, I am proud to be a junkie. I was proud to be a junkie because I was doing I was on some one percenter shit. You know what I mean? Like, I was living an outlaw lifestyle. Was I a kingpin? No, not. I mean, maybe in some people's eyes for a small town, but um, but it was about that outlaw lifestyle. It was about punk rock. It was about counterculture. It was about being informed. It was about not being like the next fucking guy, not being a Chad, not being a bro. It was about being unique, being yourself, like being creative, being expressive. And it's just, we live in a different world now, you guys. I'm 32. I'm not saying I'm some OG, but I ain't a young buck either, and like, I saw the world for what it was. I saw the world before social media, before Twitter, before Instagram, before Facebook was everything. I was part of a world where bonfires at 10 o'clock and 4 hour long conversations about life was everything. That's not everything anymore. It's about portraying yourself as I'm this or I'm that. I'm happy. I'm successful. And, you know, it's just fake. It's fake. And I don't think we as humans have learned how to use social media and technology properly. We overdo it. We do it unhealthy. Spend some time away from that damn phone. And I need to say it because I need to learn that too. It's just a crutch for when you're bored, when you're sad, when you can't think of anything to do. Go do something. Go take a walk. Go paint a picture. Look at nature. Whatever. As corny as that may sound, man. But I truly do miss those old days, early 2000s, late 90s, when people mattered. The people in your life, that was the most important thing, right? Like, the people that you cared about, the people that you looked up to, that was what was most important. Not some fucking influencer or a YouTuber or I mean, people still idled celebrities back then, but you guys get the picture. Like, it's a different world. And, to survive, we got to evolve. You got to evolve. And, I'm doing the best I can, you guys. And, like I said, I'm going to document this whole methadone taper. That 72 hours is most likely going to be hell, but pray for me, you guys. I'm going to document it and I'm going to put it on this channel, and I'm going to have this as information so people know how to do it, so people know how to get off this shit or how to switch or what's this or how am I going to go into precipitated withdrawals, whatever. I want my channel to be a harm reduction channel. I want to tell stories, war stories, and not just for addiction, for prison, jail, criminal thinking. It all ties into that outlaw lifestyle, man. It's more than addiction. Addiction is just a label. You know what I mean? Addiction's a label. Because that the medical community and just society in general, we want to simplify things. So we put things into a box. We say, oh, I'm an addict. Oh, I'm stressed. I'm depressed. But it's bigger than that. It's a spiritual issue. It's a mental issue. It's it's a lot of things, man. But we gotta keep evolving, and we gotta accept the world for what it is. Um and I'm learning every day. And just you guys, like just this community I've built, which is still extremely small, it means a lot to me. I don't make money off this. I get donations here and there pretty rarely. And every donation I've gotten, I fucking appreciate so much because like I said, I haven't been able to work in 6 months. I got one landscaping job and my cousin ended up shorting me or no, I'm not even going to get into that. But I did one landscaping job and that's it. And, you know, um, so I really appreciate everyone who's donated. Just know that like you've helped me take my girlfriend out to dinner and have me pay for dinner for once. And like that helped strengthen my relationship, you know, because like I said, it's humbling to have a woman take care of you or take care of me. I'll speak for myself. And to be able to do little things like that and just and not only the money, just knowing that like I have people in this community that care about me enough to even throw me 5, 10, 20, $50. God bless you guys, man. Thank you so much. That shit helps so much. And so yeah, um I should have a video up soon. I really appreciate you guys for watching. If you guys want to donate, I got Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. It's all Luke GTV, one word. It's all going towards a new camera. If you have an iPhone or a camera you want to donate, send me an email, geraldluke@gmail.com. But more than anything, I just appreciate comments, engagement, talking. This is the kind of stuff that helps me heal, you know? So this is what matters, is what I'm trying to say. So don't forget, smash that damn like button, subscribe if you haven't, and tune in for the next episode. Because I'm Luke GTV, and I'm out. Peace.